Hello.
Hello there.
What's going on? How was our day today?
How was my day?
Yeah.
Oh, my day was lovely. Uh, uh, I often think about um, changing the way I think based off of what someone says because I got kind of frustrated this morning
Okay.
and I walked out and I said, you know what? It doesn't have to be like that. Let me just change my whole thought process and then go back in and re engage.
Okay.
And normally I would just kind of go off and say, wait, no, that's not how we do things. This is the way, this is correct procedure and what have you.
Yeah.
So I actually had to cool down and then reapproach. And when I did that, I felt a lot better. I could communicate a lot better and everything worked out well. And I just had to say, hey, this is the regulation and this is what we follow. And this is how we do things. Instead of taking my own personal feelings and getting that involved, it's not a good thing. I think most people do that.
They 100% do. The energy you bring. Just because somebody else got a nasty, stinking attitude, don't mean you got to match it. Don't. I mean, and for me, it's talking from personal experience, right? Because it's like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Like, I remember very clearly that chick in Vilsec, was it?
I was just thinking that when you said that. I was like, and I often tell people that
Yeah, it
story.
was Vilsec. It was Vilsec.
Yeah, I was in Vilsack. Yes.
My perception of the situation, right? And you tell me if that's how you perceived it, because my response to how she came at me was, for me, very disrespectful. And then your response to how I reacted, because I felt disrespected. Lord Jesus, help me.
But the thing is that there were other people there.
No,
So
there
so
wasn't. No, there wasn't. It was
there
me
wasn't.
and her. It was me, you, and her.
I thought there were other people also waiting.
Story right, sir, before you
Okay,
go
because
telling.
well, I guess I say that because I've been there before without you. There was other people in line, and because this lady she dealt with finance, making sure that your pay was straight before you PCS and move somewhere else. So everything that she's gonna do for you, it has to deal
She
with money.
still got a job
That's
to
right.
do.
She
All
still
right,
has a job to do, but
I'm
those
going
are
to
the
tell
type
the
of
story.
people.
I'm going to tell my story.
Okay, all right.
So,
Now I can follow up based off.
hey, this is when were we married or we hadn't got married yet?
You were checking your boy out. I don't know.
Bye. Goodbye. So we go to this building. I don't know if it was a finance building or what it was. It was a long building, and when you walked into the front of the building, it seemed like every single door was closed. Well, where we needed to go, the door on it was a piece of paper on the door that stated, "If you need help with finance, come to room whatever." Right, 102. Let's go with that story. We go to 102, and the individual sitting in the room says, "Can I help you?"
Oh,
Me, I was taken aback by how she responded, because, as I said to her, the door says, "Come see 102 if we need help with finance." Yeah, what do you need? For me, I didn't match her nastiness. For me, I said, aren't you who we supposed to come to get help? Oh yeah. A quick rewind and catch herself what the door said. We get outside. We're gonna call you my husband at the time, or were you not my husband? I'm not sure. It don't damn matter. The individual that was with gonna tell me I was wrong. I was wrong for responding to her when I said the door up front says come to 102. He tells me I could have just not said anything. Here's the deal. When it comes to situations like that, I refuse to mute me and allow somebody to think they're going to talk to me any old way, because individuals like you give her the power to do that because she thinks we need her. She works for somebody else. She is not the end of the road. So as I told you at that time, I don't have to deal with her. I do. I got to go back and I got to deal with her.
Yes.
The individual that she ain't the power to be. But my problem is it's reasons like that why relationships have issues, because if I felt, here's only me, my perspective, my expectations, right? Because I'm sure I am not the only one with this expectation. For me, I expect my husband, my boyfriend, who I am with, to say, if I say I feel very disrespected by this broad and what she just did, but because I ain't got no swinging thing between my legs, she automatically came out with an attitude. But the next time she seen you, she was like, oh, hey, oh, where that girl you was at? But see, that's what she was wrong.
So I knew how she was. Now, I'm not making excuses for her.
You did. You already did. So let's
Okay. Well,
we made an excuse for why she's this way she is.
I don't think I made excuses for her. I think I knew, because I had to have an appointment with her before. She is a lady, and let me just kind of describe it.
She was not a lady. She was not a lady.
Okay, she's a woman. Okay, so I think we're gonna talk about probably the definition between a lady and a woman. So
No. That's not even the thing. For me, go ahead. I'm gonna let you tell your story.
Okay, so I knew how she was. Now, if for those of you who are listening, you have the individuals which you would think kind of the way they come off is like they have an attitude, but it's because of, I would say, their surroundings. So she comes up and is like, "Who are you?" and this and that. It's one of, and I'm not trying to label anyone, but it was just, I don't think it's the correct way to carry yourself in a professional manner, to be in the workplace and say, who's next?
Yes.
What are you here for? You need to go somewhere else. I don't know. And that type of, I guess, attitude or the way you're carrying yourself, I don't think is appropriate. But yes, you're right. There are several people that let that go on. They don't say anything because
she was still working there.
She's really good at her job. It's just the way she comes off. And plus, because it's finance, and I think we the people that I've encountered with throughout my military career is that you don't mess with people in finance, or you don't mess with people if you need their service, or even as a parent. As a parent, a kid needs a parent more than a parent needs a kid, I guess. It's like, you're gonna always come to me for something. You're gonna need me, and I've heard this before. I need her, and I just wanted to go ahead and do what I needed to do with her, so I can go on and I can move somewhere else. I just want to get out. I wasn't trying to start any trouble. I wasn't trying to get her upset.
I was labeled as the one to start trouble when that heifer came at me.
Yes, true.
But here's the deal.
She's at you, but you're not the only one. I guess, I am making excuses.
Everybody allows her. You ain't gonna talk to me. She got a job to damn do. If you don't like your job, or if people are irritating you, you are more than welcome to take your behind somewhere else. And that's the problem. People sit there and allow, and I am not going to say that she did it to everybody, but I am very.
No, that was the way she carried herself. That was
because she thought. I'm not gonna go there on this, because then it's a whole different conversation, right? It's a whole different situation and a different conversation. But I'm gonna state this: people get outside their character because they think it's a cute or a fit-in kind of situation, right? If something and somebody you're not, if it's who you're pretending to be, who are you on the opposite side of that picture? Because I would say we got two pictures, right? Two sides of the picture, what you tell people and what is actually really there. So it's like, can I help you? For me, that whole neck twitching and turning and stuff, leave that crap someplace else, not in a professional place where she was not military. She was a civilian working for the military. So that's a whole nother ballgame, because people lose jobs for little things like that. But the problem is, Nobody complained because they thought they needed her. Oh, somebody can replace her. There's somebody always better than you that you don't know yet. But people allow you to continue to do the crap that you do because they're like, oh, she does such a good job.
So looking back and on several other occasions, I would say, for me, if I don't like it, I'm just not gonna respond in a way that would kind of escalate the conversation.
Well, okay.
So I think there was probably a better approach to it, a better response when someone comes at.
So
please, you or anyone,
please let me know what's the better response.
Anyone just say, hey, excuse me, I'm sorry, or maybe not. I'm sorry. It's like, hey, no, thank you. I don't need any help. But who is your supervisor? Or I would like to talk to your supervisor, or even just say, hey, just find a supervisor.
So my response
instead of coming back.
My response of the door states come to 102. This is not 102. Was you're telling me that was not a correct response?
Now I feel like I already knew it was going to escalate right off. As soon as she said that to you, I already knew. I was like, man, let me go ahead and get out of this fire because it's about to get hot up in here.
But I mean,
I don't see, and this is, I see that happening a lot within, should I say, females?
Yes.
Women?
I mean, at this point,
because I've met so many military that says, oh, it's about to go down. If this person comes up here, it's about to go down. I'm like, what's about to go down? What are you talking about?
Because people like that, like they come, like she's like, oh yeah, nobody can mess with me because nobody this and this. You know, I'm gonna talk to people how I want to talk to people. Okay, but when the shoe gets put on the other foot, then it's a problem. Oh, don't talk to me like that. But you come out the door, like you know what you're supposed to. If you do not want to, my biggest thing is if you do not want to be at that job, find a new job. Stop taking your nasty, negative attitude to a place where you have to deal with people. I mean, I'm the first to tell you, when I joined the military, I didn't want a job to deal with people because I don't like people. Like, they come with their nasty attitudes and their chips on their shoulders. Like,
so but what if they don't know that? What if that is just them? What if they are happy with the job?
It's not them. It's something they choose to hold on to.
I seen her. You do realize I seen her, I guess, when I went back for something. That was the first thing she remembered. She said, oh, I remember you. You're the one that had the lady come right here. And I was like, oh my man.
Yeah. Good. Remember me because you won't do it again.
But I think
did she stop helping you?
No. Because it's her job.
Look at that light. Look at the light bulb coming on. Ooh. She's still gotta do her damn job. She don't get to speak to people that way. She still has a job to do.
But whose job is it to make sure that she speaks to people politely?
The person who she works for. But here's the deal. If I was like you, right?
I would try to correct it in a different way or have it a different.
Okay, but remember what I told you? You can't tell anybody else how to correct anything. Like you cannot tell me how to respond. I cannot tell you how to respond. I cannot. My expectations of you is my expectations. I get disappointed because I expected you not to come back at me, not correct anything in the middle of it. Come back at me talking about you shouldn't have said that to her. Why the hell you ain't say that to that bitch? You didn't say that to her. You didn't tell her not to talk to me like that, right? So here's the deal. I want to say.
I don't believe. I just don't believe you should.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You didn't correct her, but you felt okay to correct me. So that's the problem that outlies right now. You are in a relationship with me. You so quick to correct me, but you let that broad talk to me any old way. That's what pisses me off because of the fact that in a relationship, in a marriage, in a friendship, whatever the hell it is, you sit there and you let somebody else should not be talking like that. The minute I respond, I'm the wrong one, but you ain't correct her. At that point, you could have sat down and be like, you know what? You didn't need to speak to us like that. And babe, you could, maybe she didn't mean it, babe, but yet then you don't know her. You don't know who she is. You just go off of what you've seen, but you continue to allow her to disrespect me. And that's where it's at. You didn't correct. If you were going to correct two people, you could say, you shouldn't have said that like that. Or you could have not come back at her, but you corrected me. So this is where the problems start, because you sleep with me, not her. So you protecting her over me is a problem. That's where it goes down. We sit here and we sit in relationships and we allow people to talk to us, the person we say we love, but you let this random ass stranger talk to us, from your wife to your children to anybody. You let them sit there and talk to them crazy, and then you turn back at your individual that you love, or the person you know, talking about, well, maybe she didn't mean it like that. Why the hell are you making excuses for this broad that you don't even have a relationship? Like, she ain't even your friend.
So I didn't. Wow, why you didn't give me this warning? Because
this is what I was talking about today.
So this is a great topic, because I didn't see it like that. I didn't see it like that, or several times after that, until years later, and I realized that you're right. You are right, because, and it's almost like looking outside here. It's like, if you are my wife, I know how you are. I don't know how they are. Regardless, you're right. You are right. I should have actually taken an approach and say, you know what, babe, we don't need to really go there. Let's calm down. Excuse me, ma'am. There's no need for you to talk like this to my wife or anyone at the time. But I just don't think of it like that, because I guess I know you, and I'm not really here. I don't know, really, tell you the truth, because right now you got me on the fence, and it's not good to be on the fence.
I'm not trying to have you on the fence. I'm just stating, like, for everybody out there.
I would also like to, because this is a great topic, because this has always been on my mind, because I didn't understand it for many, many years. And for one, and I don't want to change topic, but this is very much related. When we were at the car wash in Germany, oh, you remember this. We were at the car wash in Germany, and one of my old soldiers pulled over and says, hey, can I talk to you? I got a lot of things on my mind. We had just gotten back from somewhere, traveling somewhere, and I wanted to wash the bugs off the car. He comes up to me, and I was like, yeah, we can talk. And then we're talking for 5 minutes. I'm trying to go. I said, okay, man, just give me a call. Come see me in my office, this and that. As I'm trying to leave, he calls me back. Hey, I got something else. And then you jump out of the car. Remember this?
No, I really don't.
You get out of the car and said, hey, let's go now.
Okay.
And I turned around. I was like, oh, my goodness. She just embarrassed me.
Why was it embarrassing? Like, but you had me in the car, right?
That was the conversation we had. Alexa was in the back, and she started laughing when I got in. And I was so mad, because I felt like you disrespected me in front of one of my old soldiers.
Okay.
At the time. Okay. And I was so hot, I didn't say anything to you. And you're looking at me, you're going off, and I felt like you turned around and made you like, I disrespected you. Disrespected you, but yet, did you not disrespect me? Think about that. You let us sit in the car while you're out there talking. Not once did you think about me and Alexa.
Say, hey, babe. He really. So here's the deal. I don't remember that situation, but I'm sure that's how I responded.
I don't remember that situation.
I don't remember. I don't. I have no recollection of that situation, but I do not deny that was what I said. I do not deny it, because I know me. But I'm gonna tell you this. I 100% know it was not 5 minutes.
Okay, it was probably 10 minutes.
So here's the deal.
10 minutes or like 15 minutes, really.
Shit, yours is like 30. Like, your 5 minutes is like a 30 minutes, 40, 45. Like, but my thing is, our biggest issue has been time, right? Communication, time. That's been one of the top, like, level up, top tippy top numbers on our list, like, of things that go away real quick, go left. It's left. It's already gone left. Like, I know 100%. So I don't remember this situation, but for me, when it comes to things like that, I already know that if it was 5 minutes, I would not have went off. But my thing to you is every time you do something, right, like washing the bugs off the car, let me tell y'all, this man doesn't just wash a damn bug off the car. He got to scrub. He got to spray. He got
take
to
pride in what I do.
10 different things while we sit in the car. And he said we just got back from somewhere. So now we just got back from somewhere. We've been on a road for God knows how long. And he has to stop and wash the car. So on top of us being on a trip, stopping, then this individual coming to talk to you for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the situation, I mean, yes, I could have said, can we please go? Or, hey, babe.
Yes, that's what I was kind of expecting.
But it ain't me.
At that point,
that ain't me. Because I was already past it, right?
That's my point, though. And that's the communication piece where at some point, and I have to admit, I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. At some point, at 5 minutes, if you felt that way, to come out and say, hey, babe,
Listen, I have worked on me, so we're not gonna open up that. I don't live in no more. But the thing about it is, I own what I do, right? I know for 100% fact that I know I was like, get your ASS in this car, let's go now.
Yeah,
but I didn't say that.
You don't remember, but that's almost exactly what you said. And I feel very disrespected.
But
here's another thing.
Okay.
Is that, and I know I was probably bad at this, not really bad, but I guess looking back, I probably had a chip on my shoulder to where I felt like I was important.
You did. You thought.
Looking back at the time, I didn't think that. But looking back, I felt like I
told him.
I told him. You're telling me doesn't mean is that really an accurate?
Because of your position. It's because
of my position. I felt like I was so concerned with trying to help people so much that I was putting my loved ones.
Here's the deal.
On the back burner.
Let me tell everybody this, right? When we first met, when you were a first sergeant, right?
Yes.
First sergeant. I mean, when I tell y'all preaching, family, blah, blah, family, blah, blah, family, blah, blah. I drove 6 hours to see this man on my birthday, the day before my birthday. So I would be with him on my birthday. 6 hours. Drive to go see him, and I was stationed in Hungary. So I ended up going to Germany, driving from Hungary to Germany. He did not take off of work. He came home at 5, almost going on 6 o'clock with a little baby ass cake with happy birthday Chisa on it, and thought that because he did that, I didn't have the right to be pissed. So not once did he think about the fact that I drove. And this wasn't the first time I had driven, right? Or I might have damn dummy for keep driving to see somebody that won't take off of work for me. That's where we was at, right? So driving, right? So by the time he got home, I had my stuff packed and I was ready to go. Because I was like, I just wasted my entire birthday for somebody who chose other people over me. But you love me. Right? And I'm not defining his love by my thought process. It's your actions towards me and what you've done. Right? So I drive 6 hours, right? Because sometimes you was 5 when depending how fast you drive. Drive the 6 hours for him to, I'm not going to say not care. I'm going to say that didn't care enough for me in my thought process to stop and put me first. So I will say that maybe my response it stems off of continuing to allow somebody to do the same thing over and over again. So that drive of him, not taking off of work or coming. And for me, I didn't ask. She said after we're done. For me, it comes to a point where you say, what do you continue willing to deal with, right? Because that's what we deal with all the time. It's like we allow things to happen in our relationships and we keep allowing them to happen. But instead of shutting it down like completely, because me, I'm a shutdown queen. Like I was on the road, I'm done. Like I'm not doing this. This is not where it is. Here he comes talking about, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. You know, I'm so sorry. I had one thing. But our entire relationship was that him being sorry for not showing up or not taking off or putting other people first. So it comes to a point where in a relationship, and don't take it as I'm trying to put everything on him, because I could have changed like my response to things. I could have. But for me at the time, the hurt that I allowed myself to deal with, the hurt that I allowed myself to take on is what gave my reactions, right? What gave my bitter reactions, like get in the damn car, let's go. Stop making me wait. What's the word? Always making me wait for other people. So now my today self, right, is like, I think about it before I respond. And I'm like, you know, this is absolutely not okay. So my response is more calm and collective, like thought process, like, okay. I mean, sometimes I still get mad because it's damn frustrating, but it's the point of the communication, right? So how I say things, how he receives them is on two different wavelengths. So getting on the same wavelength to actually communicate and state that is where we should have been 12 years ago. But now it's like we look back and say, well, I could have responded to that different. Like I could, but now my now is how I learned to respond differently instead of taking on the actual hurt from the past. So what I said all that to say, like, we take on hurt, we stay in relationships, and we never fix the hurt that was given or done to us. So we continue to live in that hurt place. And then the minute something else comes, somebody done rip the damn Band-Aid off, and we back to where we were beginning because the cut never healed. The problem never was fixed. It just kept getting, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry, babe. Like, okay, you know, okay, he said he was sorry. Like, okay, we're going to do great. Like, it's going to be so great next time, right? Next time, what you doing? You mad again, right? So it's a point to where now we put up boundaries. We set boundaries. We set, like, this is absolutely not okay. There's no reason why this should continue to happen because you already know I don't like it, right? But we get into our own space and we say, she won't forgive me later. When later comes, if she don't forgive you, she's still mad or he's still mad, because it could be either way, right? She could be on the other foot. But we sit there and we take it instead of allowing it to be fixed in that moment. Like, okay, he got in the truck mad because how I said it, but never stated like I felt disrespected, right? Like it was never a communication like, okay, hey, you know, I apologize for talking to him, but this is what I did, you know, and at the point it don't make it any better because you keep doing it, right?
And I think that I did not, just like you said, I did not communicate that to you as well, because I was so frustrated when you did that it was hard for me to say anything. So I just kept quiet. And to go along with that is all those years I was thinking, and I even said this, why are you trying to change me? It wasn't the fact you were trying to change me. You just wanted me to communicate things with you. And that's one thing that I struggle with. Now I know you were never trying to change me.
I tell people I want you to be better to me, right? Because we all have our ways, and we've set. You a grown man, and you're setting your ways. Well, we can't teach that old dog new tricks, right? But you're setting your ways.
Oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
Lord Jesus. Whenever it is, I state something to you, and in a relationship, right? Any relationship, not just this one. If I don't like something, I'm going to tell you I don't like that. And I'm not telling you to change who you are or what you do, but don't do it to me. Don't do it to me because I don't like it. And I'm like, at this point, I'm an old dog too. I know I'm never going to like it. So let's not keep doing it. But if it's I don't want to call it a bad habit because it's your habit, right? But if it's something you do and you know you need to change it, but you keep doing it because it's that what do we keep doing them old things just because it's our comfort zone, right? It's easier just to keep doing it instead of doing what's right, because we know what's right, like coming home on time, right? Communicating, hey, I'm gonna be late, instead of just not answering the phone. I mean, we think that not answering the phone makes it any better. It don't. It just makes the person on the other line more mad because now you're ignoring me. Oh, I don't have comments on. Hold on. Yeah, so now you're ignoring me. So it says boils down to boundaries. You and Chisa have different boundaries. Girl, we ain't had no boundaries. None. You said you got to know who you with. Lord Jesus, I knew, but it still made me mad. And then it says if you know your spouse is long-winded, you gotta cut it off. I mean,
yeah, it really cut it off in a way to where you don't get to that point where it's gonna be at a.
Q said that sounds like expectations weren't set. Sounds like you assumed that he would take off, but. See, let me go back to that birthday thing, right? So I said I'm gonna come spend my birthday with you, right? Because we dating at this point, and I now remember we were engaged when we went to that finance girl. We were engaged. When you went back, you were like, "Oh, that was my fiance." I remember that because he was all proud with his chest poked out, talking about, I talked to that girl today, and I told her that was my fiance. Like, I was supposed to be happy because he went back and told her I was his fiance. What that supposed to mean? Like, that ain't what that mean. Like, for me, when somebody be like, "Oh, I'm his fiance," girl, you could be left tomorrow. So don't even act like that. Like, y'all could be done tomorrow. So,
but anyway. She used to treat me a whole lot nicer until that day. And
whatever. But anyway, so go ahead. Were you?
No, I'm speechless because if I would have known then about the communication piece, and you've told me, but it just didn't really hit me, and I don't know. It's like a conversation that you have to have when you first start dating, not just dating, because that communication piece goes for family members, everything in life.
Q, that right there is 100% spot on.
Yes,
I mean, and we had that debate, like debate, like just because that broad let you do it, sir, no sir, like not a thing. So
yeah, that was
that learning curve, right?
That's a life lesson for everyone, is not to bring your past relationships into a new relationship. Just because they like this or didn't like this doesn't mean you're new.
Because they made it okay. They made it okay for you to do what, like, we ain't gonna put the business on the street, like, but it was a hard road getting here because of what came into the situation. But I want to ask, what happened?
I just didn't know. It's okay. Like I didn't know I was kind of able to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And I'm diving myself out. I got it, but you're right. I didn't have boundaries. I had a yard that was open and no fence, and I was just I was a good person, but I'm just saying that I didn't just.
Okay. So
and I used to preach that. I used to preach that, to say, hey, don't ever let anyone change you. It's not the fact that they're trying to change you. They just want to communicate with you. Yes. And communication is a big piece of it. Not only that, it's going into the things that you want to do, going into your dreams and goals, because here that's the same person is trying to achieve their dreams and goals, and not even including you or someone's not including their spouse in those dreams and goals. So it's either that creates more issues, because now they're saying, "Oh, you're holding me back," like the movie Fences. It was Denzel Washington talking about, "Here I am on trash, man. I could have done this with my life," and she's like, "What are you talking? I've been there with you. Yep. Look at me. What about my life?" Yep. And we had that same issue where I was like, "Oh, we're going to go to Washington D.C. because they got to have Air Force and Army there. That's where we're going to go. So let's call up your branch and see if we can make this happen." You're like, "Wait, who said we were going?" what about me and where I want to go? And I was like, well, what do you mean? This
He
is
told
what
me it ain't about where you want to go. This my career. I need to think
I
about
don't think I said it like that because those are pretty harsh words, I think.
just
I'm pretty sure I was pretty
so
polite with it. Says, hey, babe, maybe, think about it where Army and Air Force go because the way I think. I put a lot of thought.
cute. No. Listen,
So
I told this man, you said it exactly like that. You said, I have a career to think about, and I need to go where my career is going to strive, right? And I said,
probably did. That kind of sounds like something I would have said at the time.
But you just said you don't think you said it like that. But
well, now because I've changed for the better. I now know, especially getting out of the military, that the military career that I had.
I mean, and that's
I preach family, like we started off this episode.
Oh yeah, okay.
Family.
So that's how I got it left. Okay, so he was preaching family. He's like, y'all need to be with y'all family. You need to And I told him when we first got together, I said, you are a hypocrite. He was like, how dare you call me a hypocrite? And I was like, sir, you preaching to these kids, be with your family, do this, do that, do this. But yet then you still at the office while your kids is at home teaching themselves. Your kids is still, you coming home 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night and your children haven't seen you. And he's like, well, in the Army, we can't just go home. We gotta make sure the work is done. The same work that's gonna be there tomorrow, right? The same work that they done redid 10 times because Susie and Jim didn't like it, or Major Jim or whoever didn't like how it was laid out, and they thought they can make it better. But listen, she said it sounds like Dr. Butler fell into the trap of a lot of six-star military fall into. It's true.
You're right. And a lot of them don't even know how to deal with it when they get out.
But see, the problem is when somebody tells you, right? Yes, I am not you didn't see me as the expert in anything. You were just like, oh yeah, for me, I'm gonna say you just was like that. Oh, you just cute. You don't know nothing. You don't know what I have to deal with in the Army because you in the Air Force, blah, blah, blah. I just made that up because I don't know if he said it. I'm going to just say that right now.
I mean, that sounds kind of right because that was just not my thought process. And I'm not trying to dump any other guys out, but a lot of people would think that way about that.
The mission came first, and that's why a lot of high-ranking individuals on their second and third marriage. Exactly, because for me, with the military, I don't know about the Army. The Air Force preaches family, 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 right? And most of them.
That's why you guys are out giving high fives in the parking lot and high fives during ceremonies and that kind of stuff, which would kind of look down upon.
I had that same thought. Oh, hey, yes, Q was like, y'all, I ain't gonna put your business on the street, Q, but she was like, this is it. I'm doing this, and I was like, no, man. When you have children, it's not gonna be your reality. It's not your reality. Like she's like, oh no, I have a goal. I have a plan. Hey, she popped 2 babies out, and Air Force ain't really the business anymore. It's just people. When I look at situations,
I think it's far more manageable in the Air Force than it is in the Army.
It is. But at this point in our life, it's like we choose, right? We make a conscious decision. And then when we make that decision, it's time to own it instead. And I can tell you 100%, if you make a decision in life, the only thing you can do is own that decision. If you knew you made the right decision for you at that time, own it. Own it. Because the minute somebody else come in and be like, oh, you should have did that. You're right. But this is what I did for me, right? This is what I did for me. I did this for me at the time. Like when I responded to the girl, I responded to her because I felt disrespected. And I live, the way I live my life is like, okay, I've told people before when they had an attitude, I'm sorry, do you not want to be at work? Because you could be somewhere else. But I didn't feel like that response for her was the one at that moment because the sign said, come see 102. Like she probably put that damn sign on the door. Like, because she didn't want to sit in nobody else's office. She wanted to sit at her desk and use her computer. I mean, already there mentally with her, right?
But it's even the environment that you're in as far as the Air Force compared to the Army. it's almost acceptable in the Army for people to carry on that way than it is in the Air Force. I'm not trying to make excuses for people, but I have witnessed it.
Yeah.
So I have witnessed some of the things that if you was to kind of not really talk back, but kind of defend yourself in the Air Force, it's like I witnessed that. I'm like, wow, you can't do that. That is disrespectful.
I mean, at this point, certain things are disrespectful. It's how you come. But for me, people think it's because of your rank and your stature and wherever you're at, right? You could just talk to people. I know y'all mama didn't teach y'all to do, but some mamas did.
Right.
Mine didn't. You will get knocked the hell out if you think you gonna speak to me any old way. That was my growing up. Like,
well, even then, I didn't. It didn't really dawn on me to see that way, to see it that way, because until I was around you and I went to your work sometimes and I would see how people, the environment that you guys had, the culture of it was a lot different.
It's healthy.
Because how you would say, if a task, somebody came up to me and said they needed a task done, then I would just go find some soldiers and I say, all right, hey, you guys need to do this. And I'll never forget, you said, are those your soldiers? Like, well, no, how are you going to make them do something that they're not a part of their job description, basically? And I never thought about that because it was almost like, hey, we need something done. We make it happen. No matter what, we make it happen.
Wait, let's talk about how he had these guys outside. Listen, these guys came to help us do something. And
that's a prime example.
Let's go get a forklift. Hold on, let me get a forklift. They were like, forklift? We just gonna pick this up.
Let's back up. So the Air Force had reached out to the Army, basically us, that asked me, hey, can you help us out? We need basically a forklift in order to move this stuff. So I got some soldiers, they got a forklift, and they went down there to help them. They came back to me and said, you're not gonna believe this. There's a bunch of Air Force people around, and none of them would pick this up talking about they needed a forklift, but all they needed was a few bodies to pick this stuff up.
Safety. That goes back to all my
people. That's another difference between different services. And
it is, and that's the point of taking care of your people, right? Because you as a leader should be like, heck no, y'all go get a forklift and pick that up with that machine that was built to do it. Y'all be like, nah, let's go ahead, get 10 more people. We're going to pick this up. We're going to just put it on the back of the whatever it is, and we'll be good to go. No, we need a forklift to pick this 10,000-pound thing up because 10 people are going to die because if this thing falls, everybody dying. Everybody going to die. But that's the thought process behind what are we doing? We're working smarter, not harder, right?
Right. You're right.
But
I agree.
We started out this thing about communication, right? Communication, how you receive information, it's different, right? The boundaries you set up, the boundaries you put up. How is it? This is where the point where you come to yourself and you say, what are you doing, right? So you ask yourself, what you've been doing for this long, has it worked for you? And have you been able to handle it yourself? Or has it not worked at all? How long are you willing to sit in that place and continue to let that thing continue to grow and continue to go on and not correcting it? And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not telling y'all to get divorces. I'm not telling you to break up, but I'm telling you right now, communication needs to happen. You need to, like, if you feel like, I know for me, I've learned now, like, I'm master's degree in breathing. I take a breath. You know what? Q said I'm asking people to be honest with themselves. 100%. It is time to be honest with you and what you're willing to continue to put up with, because you sit there and say, I love him though. He loved me. But then y'all fighting every damn other day. How much love y'all got? Yeah, I'm not denying that you love anybody better. Anybody else love is any better than anybody else's. But how much love do you have if you can't tell somebody, dude, like, can you? That irritates the hell out of me. Like, that is irritating. Can you? I'm breathing. Babe, I don't know. That ain't working. This ain't working for me. Like, be willing to say, do I really like this? Okay, do I really like this? Or do I want to continue to deal with this? Be truthful. I have a course coming up starting Sunday. If you want to get clear about where you want to be and how you want your life to, like, you're stepping into your power, speaking your truth, not holding back. And I'm not saying go out and curse everybody out. It's finding a better way to communicate, finding a better way to utilize your time. So you're not saying when people like, you know what, this would be better for you. I ain't got time for that. I don't have time to do that. That takes too much from me. I ain't gonna have time for my phone, right? Like I ain't gonna have time for social media. But y'all got all kinds. Y'all got hours for social media, but y'all ain't got no time to make you better. You ain't got no time to do what you need to do to make you strive to your next level. So we're going to end with, ask yourself. Q said, can you truly say you love your mate if you can't be honest with them? And that is a real question. Can you truly say? Can you truly say you love yourself if you can't be honest with yourself and say, I don't like that. I'm not dealing with that anymore. Like, what are you scared that's going to happen if you just be honest? So we're going to end with that. And I would love I'm half of y'all to join me in the class to just get clarity on where you want to be, where you want to go, and how you want your life to go. Because once we start being clear with what we want and who we are, you become unstoppable. I strive to be unstoppable. So I would love somebody else to join me and be unstoppable too. You guys have an amazing night.